Okay, I'm going to talk about The Simpsons, and I haven't talked about The Simpsons in a long time, but there really was no need to because the show is stale. It really should end. I don't know why it's still going. I guess maybe they have a consistent fan base that keeps watching it, but in my opinion, The Simpsons hasn't been good in a long, long time. But it's still going. So, I mean, good on them for, keeping it going. I guess some people do find it funny still, or just watch it because there's really nothing else to watch, maybe. I don't know. But regardless, there hasn't been anything worth talking about since the whole Disney Plus thing. Because if you remember, and I did a video on this when it happened, and that's when they put The Simpsons on Disney Plus. So they moved the series over there, which, I mean, you can't blame them for doing. It's a big property and there's a lot of content there. However, the thing they did that was really lazy is they put the show on there in widescreen format in 16 by 9. And the earlier seasons of that show were made in full screen. So you can't do that unless you make changes. So they very lazily ran it through a machine, which cropped it and zoomed in on it, which made a lot of the jokes not make sense and so on and so on. And they said they were going to fix it. So I don't know if they've done that yet or not, but apparently they are going to fix the Simpsons ratio eventually. But that's not really what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about them finally admitting that Hank Azaria is no longer voicing Apu after 30 years of playing the character. And let me be clear here. He's not leaving the show. He's not going to stop doing voices. He's just not going to voice Apu anymore. So I went over to Wikipedia to find out how many voices does he actually do. So he voices Mo, Chief Wiggum. He did do Apu. He also does the comic book guy, Carl Carlson, Cletus, Professor Frink, Dr. Nick Riviera, Lou, Snake, Jailbird, Kirk Van Houten, and the Sea Captain, Superintendent Chalmers, Disco Stu, Duffman, and the Wise Guy, and numerous other one-time characters. So he does a lot of characters. However, he's not leaving the show. He's just not going to do Apu anymore. And there's a reason for that. It's because they're bending the knee to the outrage mob. What's funny, though, is for the past year, they've been really quiet about this, and they haven't said anything. So we'll get into that in a second, but let me take you back to what happened real quick. So a couple of years ago, there was a documentary, The Trouble with Apu. Now, what this was some big, long documentary from some guy who I don't even want to say his name because he got a little bit of celebrity from this. It's kind of died down. He was apparently a comedian. That didn't work out very well because PC jokes aren't funny. No one finds SJWs hilarious, so their brand of comedy never works because they self-censor themselves too much. So he decided, well, I'm going to go ahead and make this documentary and say that Apu is racist. Even though he'd been around for 20 years and never been a problem, and most people in the Indian community, as far as I saw, liked the character because he's a very positive character. He's a good father, has his own business, and so on and so on. He's a very positive character. But that doesn't matter. The fact that he's voiced by a white dude is a humongous problem. The biggest problem of them all. So now, because it became a big deal, and of course the mob on Twitter, which had no problem with it before that documentary, made a big deal about it, he decided that he wasn't going to voice the character anymore. Well, no, he was contemplating not voicing the character anymore. And they really never said anything. And I'm not too sure if he's appeared as the voice since then. However, now it's official that he's ending his, well, not his career, but he's ending his voice as that character. So they're going to replace him. They're going to bring in an Indian dude to voice that one character for like 4 lines a season because the character is not really a part of any big plots anymore, though I'm sure they'll make one episode to show the change. So let's get into what's going on here. All right, so here's the report. After 30 years as a controversial Indian American character on The Simpsons, Hank Azaria has announced he will no longer voice Apu. So let's get something clear here. It's not a controversy. It's just a bunch of people mad about some stupid voice. And let's be clear here. They're only mad because Hank's voicing the character. That's the big thing. That's the big thing. So his comment at a discussion panel, he said, all we know is that I won't be doing the voice anymore unless there's some way to transition it or something. He said to a film blog, an industry news blog that reported Friday it had asked the actor about the matter at a discussion panel. What they're going to do with the character is their call. It's up to them, and they haven't sorted it out yet. We all agreed on this, and I won't do the voice anymore. So apparently this was a mutual decision. He says, we all agreed on it. He said, we feel like it's the right thing to do, and we're good with it. So that's the end of the story. So they don't even know if he's going to appear on the show. They might just be done with the character. There's actually some funny stuff from Central America about this. They were outraged about them taking the character, and they ended up like harassing the guy who made that documentary for like a month straight on Twitter. Just anytime you looked at any single one of his Twitter posts, it was full of people going after that guy. It was pretty brutal. So here's the thing. They don't really know what they're going to do with the character. Hank said later on in the interview that the one thing they could do is make a joke about his voice changing, in which case they would bring in an actual Indian person to voice the character, which I think is ridiculous. It's so stupid that he can't just voice this character and that's the end of it. Like, this show is probably going to end in a year or two. I don't think they're going to keep the show going. They have enough content here for the streaming service just to let that show go on as a streaming show on Disney Plus. And in reruns, I'm pretty sure the show is syndicated, showing at like 5 p.m. on syndicated channels across the country. They don't need new episodes anymore. You have over 30 years of content. So it's just really stupid to me that now the character, who knows if they're even going to use him again. He might just be gone. They don't have to bring him back. And I think one of the reasons you haven't had an official statement on this now is because whatever they do, people get pissed. If they say they're not going to bring the character on anymore, well, then they're not addressing the problem. If Hank keeps voicing the character, well, then the show is racist. It's a never-ending circle of pain with these crazy people. And the only people that are mad about it are a bunch of weirdos on Twitter. But apparently companies still seem to think that these, I call them the 10% of Twitter, because that's literally what they are on a Gallup poll. And I did a video on that showing how they did a big poll and showed that the loudest people on there are the smallest percentage of people on Twitter. Came out to like 10%. And because they tweet so much, they end up dominating the platform. Some of these people have hundreds of tweets a day. Hundreds of tweets a day. So companies think that that's the majority when it's not. The truth is, the average person could give a damn about who voices Apu. All they know is now the character's gone. So if there's a season final, he probably won't even be in it because Hank's not going to do the voice anymore. What are they going to do? Hire someone to voice the character a couple of times a year? That's stupid. Like, most of the actors and actresses on that show voice multiple characters, tons of them. So this is really stupid, and it's unfortunate to see another show, another company bending the knee over something ridiculously dumb. It's so stupid that this is even a problem. If anything, he's a very positive character, like I was saying earlier, because he's a father that takes care of his kids. He's a loving husband. He owns a business. He's a good example of a good American. But that's not enough, because Hank Azaria voices him. Well, he needs to be canceled. So this is stupid, and it's sad to see that this is still going on. They've danced around this issue for about a year now, so now we actually have an official answer. Apu is done. And I just want to say, I think it's pretty stupid that who voices a character is a problem. You can't even see the person doing the voice. It really shouldn't matter. I've seen this come across in anime recently. People saying, oh, this person has to voice that character because of who they are. I think this is ridiculous and really stupid. This is a really stupid thing to get mad about. But, we live in a world where everything's a problem, so that's just what it is. Anyway, what would you do if you were running the show? How would you handle this situation? What do you think of this overall? How do you feel about it? Do you watch The Simpsons even? Does anybody still watch it every week? I'd like to hear from you guys. Why do you still watch it anyway? This show should really just end. Then this wouldn't have been a problem. We could have had a proper farewell I don't know why they just don't end the show already. It must still be making money. That's like a video itself to look into, to be honest. Why is The Simpsons still getting made after all this time when I think everybody unanimously says it's just not that funny? Maybe just people watch it because they're attached to it. I don't know. Anyway, give me your comments on that stuff. Also, throw a like up. Remember, likes and comments help push videos in the algorithm, so please consider leaving some interaction on the video. Also, please share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out.